Hi, I'm going to be doing a little psychodrama to figure out what the hell I'm going to do in the next few weeks. I basically thought that I was going to have somewhere to go in a few days, and instead that those plans have been delayed a few weeks and changed, and it just leaves me feeling like there's this just giant pause, block, break uh, in my way towards living the life and the next chapter of my life. And I don't know what to make of it because I feel many emotions, and yeah, I guess we'll just get into it. So there's a part of me that is the responsible one that keeps us all together and solves problems, and it wants to find the solution that will keep us the most safe, that will cost the least, risk the least. Um, and that part has been a great help. It's played a giant role in keeping me sane, productive, helpful, connected to people, and yet I feel that in this case it is unnecessarily or counterproductively, that's not quite the right word, but is acting against the goals and values I want to have now, and yet I want to honor it. I want to thank it, uh, and make sure that it knows that I will need it to help me be safe and prepared, and that my needs are met. And if I can speak for it, channel it, it's basically like just to all my ideas, just saying like that's insane, that's crazy. Like you don't know where you're gonna sleep. Like if you live out of a car or van, like where you can like where will you go to eat? How will you cook? Will you sleep? Where will you use the bathroom? What happens when you get sick or tired? Like I don't, or Airbnbs like will cost a lot of money, and yeah, they might be fun, but you're not made of money right now. You need to be frugal and play it safe because you've already been a burden to people, and I'm just trying to keep you safe. I'm trying to keep you safe from when you will inevitably fail and you will beat yourself up and hate yourself. I'm just trying to prevent that. I don't want that to happen. And I guess what I have to say is you're right. And thank you. Thank you. I hear you. I want to switch to another voice or part. there are many, but there is a adventurous inner child. Maybe these are two parts, but basically I think this part wants to go on this adventure. It wants to live my life. And because I feel like I haven't been. I found a partner, stayed with her, got married, and, tried to hold down a job and couldn't twice, and just really struggled to find the motivation, dealt with all kinds of health issues, and it's, I think, because I just played it safe. I tried to meet the expectations of society, of family, even of myself at some level, and it didn't work. It couldn't work. And that is devastating, because all I wanted was to be a good son, a good man, a good brother, a good husband. And somewhere along the way, I was not good to myself. I was not. And I, in limiting my striving to being merely good and not great, or flourishing, or I parts of me, rebelled, my body broke down, energy and motivation and moods were all over the place, and so if I can channel this voice, it's basically just screaming, listen to me. Finally, you've been hearing me. You have been acting on some of what I've been saying, but for the love of God, let's go. Let's move. Let's act. Let's take that leap of faith and go on our adventure. Let's follow that voice of God, the Holy Spirit, the path, the intuition, the light that I'm so scared of putting myself out there on a video like this. And so it's saying, listen to me. We can't keep doing this the same. I love and thank that responsible part. We need you around. You're not going anywhere. But you cannot be leading. You cannot be deciding these major life points. We need to start experimenting, putting ourselves out there, trying things, doing things, failing many times, but picking ourselves back up and doing so with the support and love of friends and community. We need to go. We can't keep doubting. There is no work to be done here. We are not going to find resolution here. Yes, put your affairs in order, pack up your things, say your goodbyes, but The life you say you want, that I know I believe you want, is not found here. And we can do things wisely. And the boy is this part speaking quite rationally. I mean, emotionally, it just feels like a desperation and a frustration, but there's definitely a wiser part mixed in here. But we can do this. We can find the way out. And fuck the money. Like, just, you know what? Fuck the money. The money will come. Money is on its way. It's a result of the friendships and the work and the love. But it cannot be let in if you keep the door closed because you're scared to go outside. I'm hot. I'm sweaty. Wow. Okay. Powerful. Thank you. Hello. Um, just trying to see if there's any other voice or part that wants to speak or respond. Yeah, I was speaking with a friend actually just an hour ago, and we were talking about how do we respond or interact with the universe in these moments of, I don't know how to call them, turning points, crossroads, but there are two fundamental strategies, and they correspond to yin and yang, masculine, feminine, to the receptive or the manifesting approaches. And I honestly cannot say what I'm doing or what I'm missing or need to do. I feel, I guess the inner child would say, let's go, let's fucking go. Like, let's go make shit happen. Let's fail. Let's play. Let's explore. And then the responsible part, the more scared voices or concerned about safety, would be saying, like, no, like, we need to wait. Like, there are not clear signals, invitations. So the time isn't right. We need to prepare, research, bide our time. We don't have the resources to take a jump and experiment. And I guess this is a moment in time in my life to essentially, possibly, change the way I act, the way I think, the way I decide, I choose, and the way I act. And it may be that I decide to play it safe for right now because I'm already planning on taking a big leap in a few weeks, and maybe I can't take that on. Maybe right now I need to just play it on the safer side, stay in this housing situation, do a few experiments, but not, disconnect, not take the leap, and maybe still try to connect to places, see things, talk to people. Maybe something will come up, but I cannot just passively wait. I need a plan of action for the meantime that has me excited but still has me patiently waiting. I think that there's a I mean, that almost is it. I don't know if it makes sense, but it's like, okay, let's actually try it. Let's rent a minivan. Let's rent an SUV. Let's put our stuff in the back of it. How a housemate friend is here, and I could just try it, overnight. Move my Japanese futon bed. Try sleeping. But there's plenty of things I haven't figured out. Like, what do I eat? How do I cook? How do I keep things? How do I go to the bathroom? But until I get until I take a step, not committing to doing anything, but just let's try it. And then the step after that, let's try renting a car. And then depending on how that goes for a couple days, depending on how that goes, maybe we do more. And in the meantime, we keep talking. We go to things. We see what is here, what's available in town, in my network of friends, and there's plenty to do. I think that's the trap that I find myself stuck in, is that it all ends up happening in fucking here. Trying to play the game of, well, if I think hard enough and I give myself enough to respond to, that I will get that perfect clarity and that perfect signal to just, and then I'll know, and then I won't make any mistakes. And that's not true. Sometimes it is. I mean, there's a reason I've learned to do it, and it's because that works. Because actually my mind is incredibly powerful when it's put to task on external things. On the work, the programming, the creative projects. It does that. It does just that. It all happens in here, and it's great. But then that dynamic, that learned behavior, that habit ends up being how I live my life, how I choose what to do, how to do it. And it crossed over beyond its domain. It should stay outside, but I've essentially let it, because of conditioning and fear and laziness, maybe comfort, okay, yeah, familiarity, I let it in. And no, it can be on the council, of advisors, but it is not king. And the fun. I mean, the fun, right? For me, is in the interaction between myself, my intentions, and reality. Like, I don't want to have things work out the way I plan them in my head. I'm a fucking fool and an idiot. Like, not to be mean to myself, but it's just a fact. Like, I don't know what's good for me, or what. How many times have I like thought, oh, what's the point of going to this or that group or this thing? I go and it's fantastic, but I wouldn't have guessed that, or been able to predict that. But by following that inner voice, even reluctantly, I end up better for it. And I guess I want to be honest and direct with myself. And that part, I am so grateful. Thank you for never letting go of me, for always being there, even when I don't want to listen. But you're always there. I can always access you. And I knew this, I knew that this was the way. I want the certainty, and I look to the intellect to get me that certainty. But I knew that the answer was, let's play. Let's try it out. Let's take the small steps that are in line with my greater goals. Yes, that I'm very good at that. But let's take those small steps. Let's put ourselves out there. Let's interact with reality. Because maybe an even oh, let's interact with reality, because you never know when you will be presented with a miracle. What miracles are waiting for you, but you are too stubborn to see them, to walk towards them, to believe in them?